It was supposed to be just another late-night talk show, but when the host took a swing at one of the most powerful men in the world, no one expected the jaw-dropping comeback that would leave the entire audience in stunned silence. A single insult aimed at Elon Musk turned into the most epic display of resilience and composure ever seen on live television, one that would leave the host speechless and the world watching in awe. This isn't just about a celebrity clash. This is the story of how the unexpected can change everything in an instant. On this particular night, everything seemed normal at first. The host was asking Musk about his latest ventures, his plans for the future, and his thoughts on changing the world with technology. But then something happened. The host, known for pushing the boundaries with his humor, suddenly crossed a line. Out of nowhere, he threw a personal insult at Musk. It wasn't a joke or something to laugh off. It wasn't a witty comment about a recent news story or a playful tease. It was harsh. It was direct. And most importantly, it was aimed squarely at Musk's credibility and achievement. "Elon," the host said, his voice dripping with sarcasm, "you think you're some kind of genius, changing the world with your crazy ideas. But let's be real, you've had more failed projects than you've had successful ones. Are you even aware of that?" The words seemed to hang in the air, thick and heavy, as the audience collectively held their breath. It wasn't just an insult. It was an attack on Musk's character, on everything he had worked for. The audience didn't know how to react. Should they laugh? Should they be offended? The host, perhaps sensing the rising tension, smirked. He leaned back in his chair, eyes locked on Musk, waiting for a reaction. The spotlight shifted to Musk. The world was watching. How would the tech mogul, a man who had faced years of criticism, respond to such a public insult from a high-profile host on national TV? The audience, silent and expectant, didn't know what to expect. Would Musk take the insult lying down, or would he stand up and defend himself in a way no one saw coming? The air in the studio felt thick with tension as the audience waited in anticipation, unable to look away from Musk. The host had just thrown the first punch, and now everyone was wondering what would happen next. As the host sat back, clearly enjoying the discomfort that was radiating from the room, Musk remained silent. His expression was calm, almost unreadable. The audience, however, could feel the tension building. Would he retaliate? Would he throw his own insult back at the host? Or would he do something unexpected? Elon Musk was known for his unshakable composure. Over the years, he had been at the center of numerous controversies, but he had always remained calm. He was a man who rarely allowed his emotions to get the best of him. This had earned him respect and criticism in equal measure. But tonight, this was different. Tonight, the question was not about his work or his innovations. This was personal. The host's words had challenged Musk's very character, questioning the very foundation of his career and his belief. The host leaned forward, sensing that he had Musk cornered. "So, what do you think about that, Musk?" he asked, a smug grin spreading across his face. "Do you have a response? Or are you just going to sit there and let it slide?" The audience was now on the edge of their seat. Some were holding their breath, waiting for Musk to finally speak. Others were hoping for a moment of silence that would speak louder than any words ever could. It was clear that the host was enjoying himself, waiting to see how Musk would react. But Musk, as calm as ever, didn't say a word. Instead, he shifted in his seat, his fingers lightly tapping on the armrest of his chair. For a moment, it seemed as if Musk might just let it go. Perhaps he would ignore the insult, continue the interview, and laugh it off like so many others had done before him. After all, he had been insulted countless times over the years, especially on social media, by people who didn't understand or appreciate his vision. But something told the audience that this time would be different. The room was filled with an almost palpable silence. Everyone was waiting for that one moment, that one line, that would break the tension. The host waited, but Musk remained silent, his calm demeanor making it impossible for anyone to predict what he might do next. The silence grew louder, and the audience's anticipation reached its peak. What would Musk say? Then, after what felt like an eternity of silence, Elon Musk finally spoke. But instead of firing back with a sharp insult or a witty retort, Musk did something that took everyone by surprise. He smiled. Not a smug, sarcastic smile, but a calm, almost reassuring one. It was as if he had already won the battle before it had even started. "I've heard worse," Musk said simply, his voice steady and confident. "But I think what you're missing is the point." The audience, still unsure of how to react, sat in stunned silence. The host, momentarily taken aback, raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean, Musk? You think this is just some kind of joke? You don't care about the fact that I just pointed out your failures?" Musk's smile never faded. "It's not about failures or successes. It's about learning. It's about growing. You know, there's a saying that goes, if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. I've faced plenty of failures in my life, but those are the things that have shaped me into who I am today. I've learned more from my failures than I ever did from my successes." The words hung in the air, and for a moment, the tension seemed to dissolve. Musk wasn't defensive, he wasn't angry, and he certainly wasn't backing down. Instead, he had turned the entire situation into a lesson. A lesson about resilience, growth, and the value of failure. It was a message that resonated with the audience, and the shift in energy was palpable. For the first time that evening, the host's smirk faltered. Musk had not only taken the insult in stride, but he had also flipped the conversation in a way that left the host speechless. The power dynamic had shifted. Musk had turned the tables in a way that no one could have predicted. And the audience? They were captivated. As the host sat there, momentarily lost for words, the audience couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration for Musk. It wasn't just about his intelligence or his wealth. It was about his character, his ability to stay calm under pressure, and his refusal to be shaken by anyone's words. The host, realizing he had underestimated Musk, tried to regain control of the conversation. But it was clear to everyone that the battle had already been won. With the audience still in awe of Musk's composed response, the host tried to steer the conversation back on track. But it was too late. The momentum had shifted, and the tension in the room was palpable. Musk had already delivered a masterclass in handling criticism, and now the audience was waiting for what would come next. The host, sensing that the conversation had taken a turn he hadn't expected, tried to regain his footing. He cleared his throat and, with a slight chuckle, said, "Well, I guess you're not as easily offended as I thought, Musk. I thought we might get a bit of a show from you tonight." But Musk wasn't interested in playing along. Instead, he calmly responded, "I'm not here to put on a show. I'm here to share my thoughts, my vision, and the lessons I've learned along the way. If you want to see a show, maybe you should stick to your jokes." The host's grin faltered for a moment, and for the first time that evening, he seemed genuinely taken aback. The audience, sensing the shift in power, began to clap. They weren't clapping for Musk's wealth or his success, but for his response, his confidence, and his ability to turn a personal attack into a lesson for everyone watching. The moment was one of the most memorable in the history of the show. Musk had delivered an epic comeback, and it had stunned everyone in the room. The host, once in control of the conversation, now seemed like the one on the defensive. Musk had not only handled the insult with grace, but he had also used it to his advantage. As Musk finished his calm yet powerful response, the atmosphere in the studio had completely shifted. What had started as a moment of tension and uncertainty had now turned into one of respect and admiration. The audience, who had been sitting in silence just moments earlier, suddenly erupted into applause. It wasn't just polite clapping, this was genuine appreciation for Musk's composure, for the way he had handled a difficult situation without losing his cool. The host, now visibly uncomfortable, tried to recover from the unexpected turn of events. He laughed nervously, glancing around the room. "Well, I guess we all have a lot to learn from Elon Musk, huh?" he said, though the words didn't seem to carry the same confidence they had earlier. The applause continued for a moment longer, before the audience quieted down. But the energy in the room had completely shifted. What had started as a simple late-night interview had now become an unforgettable moment. Everyone in the studio, and likely everyone watching at home, had witnessed something rare. The way Musk had turned an insult into an opportunity to teach, to inspire, and to demonstrate the value of resilience. But the impact of Musk's words wasn't just felt in the room. The clip of the exchange quickly went viral on social media. Within minutes, tweets, posts, and videos were circulating, with people praising Musk's response. Fans and critics alike were talking about it, sharing their thoughts on how he had handled the situation. It was a moment that was bigger than just the talk show. It was a reminder of Musk's character, a man who, despite his many accomplishments, still faced criticism but refused to be shaken by it. The story of the insult and Musk's comeback had captured the world's attention, and it was only a matter of time before the conversation reached new heights. But despite the praise, there were still questions. Was this just a one-time reaction from Musk, or was there a deeper message behind it all? Was this a lesson for everyone watching, or was it a moment that would soon fade into the background of a never-ending cycle of news and controversy? The audience was left to wonder, but the one thing that was clear was that Musk had left an undeniable mark on that night, and on everyone who had witnessed it. The days following the talk show were filled with chatter. Social media, as expected, was buzzing with opinions. Many people praised Musk's ability to stay calm and collected, admiring how he had used the host's insult as a teaching moment. People saw it as a reflection of his character, a man who was confident enough in his own abilities and ideas to not be thrown off by the criticism of others. But there were also critics. Some argued that Musk had been too evasive in his response, that he should have directly confronted the host instead of taking the high road. Others pointed out that Musk's success had often come at the expense of others, and that maybe he should have addressed the host's point more directly instead of deflecting it. Yet despite the criticism, Musk remained unbothered. In fact, he didn't even respond to the online backlash. Instead, he continued to focus on his work, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and other projects that were changing the world. His ability to not let the noise of social media affect him was, in itself, another lesson for his followers. The host, on the other hand, had his own share of fallout. While some fans appreciated his boldness, others felt he had gone too far with the insult. Many viewers felt that the host's words had been uncalled for, and some even wondered if he had deliberately pushed Musk to get a reaction for the sake of ratings. The talk show host faced his own backlash as well. Viewers flooded social media with messages about how inappropriate the insult had been. Some fans even started calling for a boycott of the show, claiming that the host's behavior was disrespectful to Musk. In the end, while the host remained in the public eye, he was no longer seen as the one in control. Musk had taken that power, and now it was his to wield. In the world of media, where moments like these are often forgotten the next day, Musk's comeback remained a talking point for weeks. The story continued to make headlines, and interviews with people who had watched the episode were shared across various platforms. People were fascinated by Musk's ability to rise above the insult without losing his integrity. It was a lesson that many took to heart. Months after the event, the moment remained a key talking point in discussions about how to handle criticism and adversity. People from all walks of life were using Musk's response as an example of how to stay calm in the face of personal attack. Teachers, motivational speakers, business leaders, and everyday people were drawing inspiration from Musk's ability to turn an insult into a chance to teach resilience. For Musk, however, it was just another day in his journey. He didn't dwell on the incident, and he didn't seek validation from the applause or criticism. Instead, he moved forward, continuing to focus on his goals of innovation and progress. His work, as always, spoke louder than any insult ever could. But for many who witnessed that moment, it was a turning point. It wasn't just about Musk or the host. It was about the lesson that everyone could take away from the exchange. It was about not allowing the words of others to define you, about using criticism as an opportunity for growth, and about having the confidence to stand your ground even when the world seems to be against you. Musk's comeback had been nothing short of epic, and it had left a lasting impact on everyone who had seen it. Whether people agreed with his ideas or not, they had to respect his character. He had shown the world that the best way to handle an insult wasn't to retaliate with anger or insults of your own, it was to rise above it, stay true to yourself, and use the moment to teach others something valuable. In the end, Musk had proven that sometimes, the most powerful response to criticism isn't a comeback at all. It's a calm, confident, and unwavering reminder that you are who you are, regardless of what others say. In the weeks that followed Musk's incredible comeback, something unexpected began to happen. The story didn't just fade into the background of celebrity gossip or media drama. It grew, it spread, and it became a symbol for many people across different industries. Whether it was the business world, social media, or even everyday conversations, Musk's ability to rise above an insult became a blueprint for handling conflict with grace. The moment didn't just inspire fans of Elon Musk. It struck a chord with people who had faced their own challenges, their own moments of personal attack, and it showed them that they could take control of the narrative without being dragged down into negativity. For many, Musk had turned an otherwise embarrassing situation into a shining example of maturity and emotional intelligence. In the corporate world, leaders and managers began to talk about the lesson Musk had taught them, to not allow petty comments or personal attacks to derail their focus. CEOs of several major companies started to use Musk's response in their motivational speeches, urging their employees to handle criticism with the same calm determination. But it wasn't just about business. Everyday people began using Musk's example in their daily lives. On social media platforms, the hashtag Musk moment began trending, with people sharing their own stories of overcoming personal attacks and negative comments. Many users praised Musk for showing them that responding to hate with maturity and self-reflection was far more powerful than responding with more hate. By focusing on growth, resilience, and the value of failure, Musk had changed the conversation. No longer was the world talking about whether his businesses would succeed or fail, or whether his ideas were too far-fetched. Instead, people were talking about the strength of his character, the way he handled adversity with a level-headed approach that had inspired millions. The media, ever hungry for new angles, started to look deeper into Musk's background. Articles were written not just about his companies, but about his journey, his humble beginnings, the many failures he faced before reaching success, and how he had built his empire despite criticism from others. His story had become more than just the tale of a billionaire entrepreneur. It was now a lesson in perseverance, in taking risks, and in staying true to oneself despite what others may think or say. Musk's response had struck a chord so deeply that it was now a part of the larger conversation about how to cope with negativity and personal attacks in the digital age. It was clear that this moment was far more than just a one-time occurrence. It was a lesson that would echo far beyond that night. While Elon Musk's comeback had taken center stage, the talk show host found himself in a more complicated situation. Initially, he had brushed off the backlash, thinking it would blow over quickly. But as days passed, it became clear that his comment had sparked something much larger than a fleeting moment of controversy. His show had taken a hit in the ratings, with some viewers expressing their disappointment at his harsh words toward Musk. Despite the criticism, the host wasn't without his defenders. Some fans claimed that the insult was part of his comedic persona and that Musk had simply misunderstood the joke. They argued that the host wasn't being serious and that it was all in good fun. However, this line of defense was falling flat, especially among those who felt that the host had crossed a line that shouldn't have been crossed. In response to the backlash, the host tried to clear the air. In an interview, he explained that he never intended to offend Musk and that the comment had been a part of his usual banter. "I never meant to insult Elon," he said, visibly uncomfortable. "I was just trying to keep things lighthearted, but it seems like I misjudged the tone of the moment." But the damage had been done. Many people didn't see it as a simple joke. Instead, they saw it as an unnecessary attack on a man who had already faced more than his fair share of criticism. The host's attempt to apologize was met with mixed reactions. Some viewers accepted his explanation, but others felt that he wasn't being sincere enough. For them, the host's attempt at humor had crossed the line, and it was hard to take his apology seriously. As for the show, ratings continued to dip. While the host's witty commentary had once attracted a loyal audience, the incident with Musk had changed the dynamic. Some fans felt betrayed, while others simply lost interest. The host now found himself facing a reality check, a reminder that words had consequences, and sometimes those consequences could be far-reaching. In the end, the host's career wasn't ruined, but it was certainly affected. The backlash from the incident with Musk became a constant talking point in the media. The host, once seen as a master of quick wit and sharp humor, was now viewed with a degree of skepticism by many. This whole experience would serve as a powerful lesson for him. Words, even in jest, could hurt, and even the most powerful public figures were not immune to the power of public opinion. The host learned that while humor and wit could entertain, they could also alienate, and the line between comedy and cruelty was thinner than many realized. The story of Musk's epic comeback continued to unfold, and with each passing day, the conversation surrounding the incident grew bigger. It became clear that the exchange wasn't just about a celebrity feud or a moment of embarrassment on a late-night show. It was about something more profound, the nature of criticism and how we choose to respond to it. For Musk, the situation had been a brief moment of public scrutiny. But instead of crumbling under the weight of criticism, he had turned the moment into an opportunity to educate. He had demonstrated that success wasn't just about winning, it was about learning from your failures and using them as stepping stones for growth. This lesson was important not only for those who admired Musk, but for anyone who had ever been attacked or belittled by others. The reality was that in today's world, everyone faced criticism at some point. Whether it came from friends, family, co-workers, or even complete strangers online, negativity was an inevitable part of life. But how we responded to it, that was what truly mattered. The moment that had started as a simple late-night talk show interview had turned into a worldwide conversation about handling adversity with strength, confidence, and grace. Musk had shown the world that the power of a person's character was far more important than the words of those who tried to bring them down. He had proven that criticism, no matter how harsh, could be deflected with calmness, intelligence, and a steady focus on one's goals. For Musk, it was just another chapter in his ongoing journey of success, failure, and resilience. For the world, it was a reminder that sometimes the most profound lessons in life came not from victories, but from how we chose to face our defeats. And so, Musk's epic comeback had achieved something far greater than a viral moment. It had sparked a conversation that would echo through the minds of millions for years to come, a conversation about character, strength, and the power of perseverance. As time passed, the incident slowly faded into history, but the lesson it imparted remained. Elon Musk continued to lead his companies, exploring new frontiers in space travel, electric vehicles, and brain-computer interfaces. His reputation as a visionary entrepreneur remained intact, and his ability to withstand criticism only added to his legacy. The host, meanwhile, moved forward as well. While the controversy had caused a temporary shift in public opinion, he eventually regained his footing. His show found new ways to reinvent itself, but the memory of the Musk incident lingered in the background, reminding everyone involved that the world of public figures, critics, and the media was a delicate balance. And as for the millions of viewers who had witnessed Musk's epic comeback, they took away more than just a funny or dramatic moment from a late-night talk show. They took away a valuable lesson that transcended celebrity culture, a lesson in how to face challenges, criticism, and setbacks with dignity, and how to use adversity as a stepping stone to even greater success.